I was born ready like fish and spaghetti.
Yeah. Bone ready.
That's no way to start an awards ceremony.
Oh, that's that episode. I'm sorry.
We're all sitting here with tuxes. What's up with that, bro?
It's a very different awards.
It's the Irish coffee that I'm drinking. That I was served at this dinner table.
It's a little bit of a different award ceremony. Yes, that is why we are here. All of you Get Geek nerds out there, you the Get Geek fandom, we are here this week in this episode to discuss. I guess this would be the first annual Get Geek Movie Awards.
Dun, 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 dun.
That's the name that we just came up for, the Get Geek Movie Awards. But before we introduce our categories, let's introduce our hosts. I am Jose.
This is a more distinguished version of AJ tonight.
This is a regularly distinguished version of Wolfie.
Eli walking down the red carpet.
From the accounting firm of Deloitte and Douche, this is Walter.
That's right.
Is that really the name of the accounting firm?
Yeah, why not?
It's Deloitte and something, right?
Deloitte and Touche.
Something like that.
I kind of just changed the name.
Yeah, so
Just a little bit.
take that, Academy. We are the Geek Academy. We are not the
Word. This is
the
Geek
Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, or whatever you nerds call yourself. You're not even true nerds, actually, so I'm not going to give you that name. But anyways, we have.
Apologies for my foul language, by the way.
It was PG at best.
I mean, that's a product. Also, it can be construed as that. But anyway, after that little clarification of the word douche, why don't you tell us what the categories are?
I feel so fresh right now.
for the Get Geek for the Get Geek Awards. We have to be distinguished about this, gentlemen. These are the
Walt.
Get Geek Awards. Very distinguished. Very distinguished.
Take it away, Walt.
Yes.
And now categories for the Get Geek News Awards ceremony, right? It's going to be best jams in the movie. Mm-hmm. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. It's soundtrack, best music, best
Original score. I
Original
guess it
score.
could be,
It's
just best single song or best total score, right?
Floats your boat, you know what I'm saying? Best team up in a movie. So that is singular, duo.
At least two
team.
people. Two.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that works.
Yeah. I guess.
Best
Yeah.
VFX, special effects. I think that's pretty self-explanatory.
Pretty broad.
Yeah. Best villain in a movie. Again, pretty self-explanatory. It's the bad guy in the movie. Best action scene in a movie. So that could be, the best.
It could be a chase. It can be a
Chase.
fight scene. It could be straight up action.
Yep.
It could be anything that just kind of is exhilarating, huh?
Best actor in a movie. Again.
Well, one thing that we are about here is equality. So best actor is for male and female.
Yes, correct. Now, this one is a really cool one. Best badass moment in a movie. So this could be anything that, just kind of, it stands out in the movie. It's like one of those things like, oh my God, that's awesome.
Could
like
be an action scene, or it could even be the flip of a finger to someone. We don't know.
Exactly. It could be a fan service moment.
Oh,
it could
yeah.
be anything.
Yep.
This one is your personal favorite. Worst movie moment of the year.
So sort of how like they have the Lifetime Achievement Award, we have the Worst Moment Award. And that one is a very exciting award that I'd like to give out. So
That one has one nominee.
You'd be the keynote for that one.
Yeah, one.
I'll be the keynote speaker.
keynote
for that one.
presenter.
nominee. And the last award in the first annual Get Geek News Film Geek Out Thingamabobber, whatever you want to call it. Awards. It
Only
is
one
best-
word for it.
The Geekies.
The Geekies.
Ooh, the
Hey,
Geekies.
I like that
Hey,
one.
that's the name, the Geekies. We got it.
There it is. We just came up with the name. First annual Geekies.
Real time.
There you go.
Real time.
This one's going to be a little bit obscure. It's best film.
And that
I
would
wouldn't
be
even know
any
how to explain
film.
that one.
Well,
So-
actually, that would be any and all films, whether it's international, foreign. It can be, short film or regular film. There might be a short film that can unseat some of those regular size films, right? So all films of all kinds.
YouTube videos.
There you go. And so now the reason that we did this is, and we just literally thought about this like today, right?
A few hours ago.
Yeah, a few hours ago. We really so next year we're going to do this before the Oscars actually come out, because I think that we have such big influence that we could probably influence the Oscars into giving the right awards, right?
Absolutely.
But
Far more distinguished taste.
Exactly. But this is going to be from a nerd's take. This is going to be from a geek's take. This is going to be from the fans' take, right?
Yes.
This is going to be a little bit different. We're not going to be all overly snobbish about this thing. We're going to go by the films that we believe as nerds and geeks that should be nominated, and some of the scenes that should be given,
mention and recognition.
Exactly.
But we do want to mention that even though this is definitely geek-centric, there are some nominees that creep in from movies that are not necessarily geek culture, but the pop culture zeitgeist at large.
Well,
but,
like I said, it's
still
stuff that we like. Right?
stuff that we
Well,
like.
hey man, look,
Right.
there's movie nerds out there, so there's
Absolutely.
still nerds. So,
Well put.
We're
Well said.
We're nerding out.
but
Well
I
said.
do need to give you a high five on the
Movie nerd.
Geekies coining
Hey.
geeky. High
it
five
is.
on that one.
Yeah.
Boom shakalaka.
But
Yeah.
before we get to our first category nominees, a word from our sponsor.
Hey guys,
And now back to our show.
God, you were so excited to say what happened.
Okay, let's do that again.
I wish you guys could see his face.
Take two from our sponsors. Take two from our sponsors.
He just goes like this, like, "Hey guys."
And now a word. No, not yet. Not yet. He's still.
Yeah, let him breathe
He's
first.
still a few colors.
What's the
Still turning a
thing,
few
the
colors.
technical difficulties when they
Oh yeah. We're gonna have like a little disclaimer cartoon
Exactly.
on the screen.
The role of our sponsor this week is going to be played by.
God.
okay.
And now a word from our sponsor. I knew that was gonna happen.
Now back to our show.
I knew it. All right, everybody, give him room
right,
to,
don't look at it. Don't look
inhabit
at
the
it.
character.
The other way.
He has
Just
to
don't
inhabit
look
the
at that mirror
character.
either, though.
All right.
Now, a word from our sponsor.
Hey guys, this is our. This is. I'm sorry, I was trying so hard. I didn't want to laugh. This is user Get Geek outreach from the our Get Geek podcast Reddit subreddit. Here to come at you with all of our categories. We have so many categories. We have movie discussion categories. We have TV streaming categories. We have future topic suggestion categories. We have spoiler categories. We have all the categories. So guess what? Come over to the our Get Geek subreddit. You're totally gonna love it.
And now back to our show.
That was a word from our sponsor. All right. Thanks to the Get Geek Reddit for sponsoring this week's episode. We couldn't have done it without you.
Okay.
All right. So are we getting to the first
Hold on.
the first nominee?
I gotta gather my composure for a moment.
Do we have water around here?
Everyone's red. As red as the
Oh, Lord.
tablecloth.
I know. It's this is a sweaty situation here.
Okay.
Oh God.
All right. And now, back to the Geekies. And our first category. Thank you, sir. We're
Off to a great start.
Our first episode. Issue.
first
Issue.
geeky. The first geeky. Okay. In our first category, it is Best Jams in a Movie. And the nominees are Joker, Avengers Endgame, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
So, anybody want to kind of discuss a little bit about the nominees before we actually announce the winner? Avengers. Who voted for Avengers?
I think that might have been me. Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
Well, I
it
think we
was
can
me.
all talk about like a little bit of each one of the nominees. Anyway, we all saw the movies. I think we all enjoy some of the jams from these movies, anyways. So we can kind of have like an open discussion.
Go ahead.
So with respect to Avengers, I almost said Revengers.
That's a
Not the
different version.
Revengers, not the Pre-Vengers, the Avengers, right?
Right, yeah. So
The Revengers
What-
were in Thor, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
What the music really lent, it's almost like when Star Wars was in its prime. The score really adds on to the ambiance of what's going on, especially when you hear the iconic Avengers theme when he says Avengers Assemble, the da 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 da. It just evokes that feeling.
Okay.
Right.
I like how you said Star Wars in its prime because the only thing that I think of is a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. No, just because, well,
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
We'll get there.
Yeah,
Don't worry,
exactly.
I think of the Avengers soundtrack in moments. I think of the moment when they cut off Thanos' freaking head at the beginning, and Thor is walking out of the hut defeated because he knows that they're not going to be able to bring anybody back. I think of, like you said, the Avengers theme, and I think of when Thanos loses again at the end, and he takes his seat. That kind of ominous music that's playing behind him because it's like. It's the music is almost like telling me like I'm Thanos and I lost, but I'll be back.
Yeah.
That's why I kind of like the music on
And
that.
it's also the variations of the Avengers theme, right?
Yeah.
Because I remember one of my favorite themes was from the trailer where they took the Avengers theme, but they slowed it down and they made it, and then toward the end they made it really ominous. You know what I'm saying? So, but Joker is another one that really, really good soundtrack, right? It had that dread, it had that melancholy and stuff like that. I really like the Joker soundtrack also.
Yeah, the Joker was, it was powerful because of the pairing of Joaquin Phoenix's performance, especially in certain scenes like when he had that interpretive dance scene in the bathroom stall. Can't have that without like
The right
that,
music,
that,
right?
that- without the right music, without that ominous kind of transformative sound, So and that whole movie was about transformation, and the transformation was happening not just through his acting, but through the music that you hear in the background. So
I think it also added almost like another character to the movie
Right,
because it
right.
did definitely reflect his mental state. It reflected how much closer he was getting to becoming
yes,
the Joker.
yes.
So I think
you're
that was
right.
what was great about that soundtrack.
You're
also,
right about that.
I think going back to the Avengers, I think that the soundtrack really gave me the feels. It gave me the sense that I wanted to cry because of the music. Because without the music, especially during Tony Stark's memorial, without the music, it's not really. It won't. It's not. It doesn't have the same
Impact.
sadness and mood and impact. So
Well, speaking about mood and stuff like that, going to like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the music in that movie to me just kind of gave me like this sort of carefree kind of just like go along with it. I guess it's because of like the timepiece that it was in and stuff. But with Tarantino's films, he always does a really good job of making sure that like classic sounds are in there that really kind of describe the time and era that the movie takes place. And I think that's one of the reasons why that one got mentioned. So
and yeah, Tarantino definitely uses music to great effect in most
Yes.
of his movies, and I like.
Yeah.
I love music from that time period, so I definitely enjoy the music in this movie as well. And but just to like kind of effectively bring back how effectively Tarantino uses music. The scene in Reservoir Dogs when he's torturing the cop, and what is it? Stuck in the Middle with You, I think, is playing. When he's
I haven't seen that movie in such a long time.
oh man, but like yeah, he uses music really effectively, and this movie is really no different.
Right. So,
And let's announce the winner.
without further ado,
I have the envelope here from Cooper Whitewater Price House people and guys. Thank you very much. Thank you, lovely person.
And I've just been handed the envelope, and I have here. Let's see who it is. The winner is. It is Endgame, Avengers Endgame for Best Jam.
Bravo.
And accepting the award for Best Jam is going to be David Farmer. Hey guys, so thank you. I'm quite honored. I'm very, very honored for this award. As a sound engineer, nobody gets to see my face, and I guess this kind of sucks because I'm on a podcast and nobody can still see my face. But thank you guys very much.
That's because you do sound. Thank you for your contribution to the movie and geek industry. Let's move on to our next category.
Okay, in the next category, excellence in best team up in a movie. Our first nominee is Avengers Endgame, the Avengers Assemble scene. John Wick, the scene with Keanu Reeves, Halle Berry, and dogs. And Hobbs and Shaw, the scene with Hobbs and Shaw.
Please hold your applause until all the nominees are announced. Please.
So I actually have not seen Hobbs and Shaw. Can someone describe to me the specific scene that you guys are talking about?
It's the scene where Hobbs and Shaw fights.
Well,
I thought I made that clear. You know what I'm saying?
so
Do they fight in a train? Do they fight on a plane? Do they fight in a box? Do they fight with
I
some
really
rocks?
just liked their interplay with each other. It's so confrontational, but at the same time, you look past it and I was like, oh, they're really just cool with each other. They're all confrontational, but they're really okay with each other.
They're a nice new cinematic action odd couple.
Well,
Yeah.
there's a lot of fights in there. I mean, there's a fight with the radioactive tower that falls on them, right? There's that last. You don't remember that?
I didn't.
Oh, you didn't see the
haven't seen
movie
it yet. I haven't seen it yet.
Okay. So
haven't seen
then,
it.
you know what?
That's okay. You
they
can
just
spoil
fight.
this a little bit because these are it's award season, and if you haven't seen the award winners, then
All right. Well, let's
I
just put
guess.
it this way: they
Spoil a
fight
little
Idris
bit.
Elba.
Right.
Spoiler.
Black Superman.
There you go.
yeah,
I'm Black
But-
Superman, baby.
or like yeah, that's kind of what he is.
Okay, so that's Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah,
The bickering.
We also have John Wick, and I think that's a personal favorite of one of our hosts here.
Me.
You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? I'm not looking at you, but I'm looking at you.
So I mean, for me, one of the reasons I like the scene so much, specifically with Halle Berry and the dogs, is because the gunplay has always been great, and I'm a little bit of an aficionado, connoisseur of the gunplay, you could say, a little bit. But at the same time, what was really striking about this was the first time that they used tactical canine units throughout an entire action scene, and it wasn't just like foreplay, like just a couple of scenes here and there. It was a pretty extended gunfight scene where they used real tactical dogs, doing real stunts, not CGI stunts. And to me, that was one of the best scenes ever, in my opinion, especially as a team up. Because it's a very unique team up.
including the stunt that no one believed with the dog like scaling the wall. That's totally freaking real.
Right, yes.
Which
Yes.
dogs can totally do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Very
So,
athletic dog. Right
Mm-hmm.
there.
I didn't quite believe that myself.
and that's the thing about John Wick is all the stunts. John Wick as a movie or as a franchise, I guess, like brings back real stunts versus a lot of CGI stuff. You know what I mean? It's a lot of stuff kind of being replaced and fudged up. I'm sure that they do a lot of like computer correction and stuff like that, but they try to be. And wire work, but the wire work is part of real stunting. So,
Yeah.
I have a big appreciation for that because it's kind of like more classic action movie stuff.
And not exactly realistic fight choreography, but more realistic than some other movies, right? Because he uses a lot of different styles, almost like a mixed martial artist.
So as far as the martial arts aspect of it, like that's he uses real martial arts techniques in the fight scenes,
Yeah.
right? As opposed to like your triple somersault kicks and stuff that
Yeah,
you see in movies.
exactly. That's
Over
kinda
here
where I
we
was
have
getting at.
real judo throws, real jiu-jitsu submissions. We have like real tactical gunplay. So
A lot of struggling on the ground
know,
too, which is cool. I think.
right,
Like,
yeah.
From time
so
to
I mean,
time.
the biggest part with the gunplay is that a lot of the stuff it may seem like really cool movie stuff, but a lot of the stuff that he's doing on screen are things that are taught within the tactical operator community and stuff. So
And I've seen those videos where he's training him and Halle Berry. That stuff is
they're
crazy.
doing a real target shooting practice, speed shooting, which is a skill and a sport in itself, and they really try to be authentic. So, but then of course we have the team up, the Avengers Assemble.
Indeed.
The Avengers assemble when Captain America assembles the whole entire basically Marvel franchise.
Not the whole. We got X-Men.
Basically.
The current MCU.
The current
Available
MCU.
heroes.
Let's make sure that we.
Because X-Men doesn't exist.
Anybody that's still alive,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. So, this was probably one of my favorite team up scenes because it just gave you that feel where you just wanted to, like, I was at the edge of my seat at the time, and I was just like completely blown away. Even though you could have seen it coming, honestly.
It was what everybody was waiting for, basically.
Yeah, everybody was waiting for that, but it's just like.
Just
Yeah.
We all saw it together. There were a lot of big pops in that theater.
Scale
That was
of
one
it.
of the biggest ones. One of the biggest. So that was pretty freaking awesome. That was awesome. All right. So
I've been given that envelope, and I'm going to announce the winner as soon as I open it.
Gosh.
that is a very involved
Okay.
envelope.
Oh, hold on. It seems that we have our winner to be Avengers Endgame again.
Assemble.
Bravo.
Avengers
They're
Assemble.
assembling geekies.
Because they're not assembling Oscars.
And who is
more
accepting
awards,
the
right?
award here
Distinction.
for?
Hello, my name is Captain America, and I accept this speech. I do this on behalf of America and all and all the good soldiers out there who risk their lives in wars.
Against Thanos.
Hail Hydra.
Moving on.
Captain America, ladies and gentlemen.
Captain America.
Another Avengers
Exactly.
song. Okay. What's the next category?
Okay. For excellence in best action scene in a movie, the nominees are John Wick, the beginning of the movie, the knife fight scene, Avengers Endgame, Captain America fighting Thanos with Mjolnir, and Terminator Dark Fate, the last scene with the Terminator.
So, for me, definitely one of the scenes that I heavily enjoyed, even though I did enjoy one of the other nominees in John Wick. Not particularly that scene was the one that I was interested in, but the Cap Mjolnir Thanos fight basically was probably one of the best geek moments in my entire life. Best geek action moments, because it was an awesome fight, because Cap is one of the better fighters, if not the best actual fighter in terms of skill in the MCU. I think it's because Chris Evans, he has a dance background or something like that. That's how it always is.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he has a background in dance or
good
something like that.
choreography.
So he does really great choreography. Other great examples are him versus Bucky in the other movies, but whatever. Speaking of on this scene, just the awesomeness of seeing him wield it for the first time, how much stronger he got, him just whooping Thanos for at least those first few seconds.
Yeah.
Thanos completely not expecting it and just getting uppercut by Mjolnir, all the
Meow.
cool combos he did with the shield, all the different cool combo moves,
Yeah.
all of that was for me made it one of the best action scenes
And
of the
fact
year
that
for
he
sure.
called down thunder and lightning and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which was totally
He
awesome.
made him
wielded
worthy.
all the power,
Yep.
all the power,
Showed
which
that
is
he was
really
worthy,
awesome.
The John Wick knife fight, right?
Awesome.
Absolutely amazing. It was a hell of a way to start the film.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? Sometimes when you start with such a great high,
Mm-hmm.
it makes it difficult to kind of keep up. And they just kept excelling. So, kudos to the choreography of the choreography team of John Wick. But that knife scene was super brutal. And it was a lot of fun. They had kind of like some comedic moments too in that little knife fight, despite how brutal it was. So, yeah, it was pretty damn cool.
I guess I'll speak to Terminator Dark Fate.
Because I haven't seen it, so.
Yeah. So this would be referring to the fight with everyone, the T-800, and then I don't know what the designation is for the new one.
I don't remember either. So,
T1 million?
Nope.
T10,000. It was like another 1,000 model. I think.
Actually, no. It was something completely
It
different.
wasn't even a number anymore.
Yeah, because
It wasn't-
It was
TX?
no longer.
It was a number, but it also had like a letter designation. Well, they all have okay.
And
Well, regardless,
and
the,
afterwards,
the
this-
newest and
Completely
coolest,
changes Terminator.
the newest and
the
coolest Terminator.
franchise.
How about that?
Yeah, it's not even a Cyberdyne model.
played by
So.
somebody Luna, right?
Diego Luna, who was Ghost Rider on Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and was supposed to reprise the role in Hulu before the series got canceled. So, moving on.
He looked pretty good in it.
Yes, he
Indeed.
did. He didn't play the Johnny Blaze. He played the Robbie Reyes, I think, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway,
Anyway,
Terminator, but also he did look pretty good as
yes.
Ghost Rider.
Yeah. So just and one of the sorry if you guys are like don't want to be spoiled, you might want to cover your ears or something. But like just the way, because this new Terminator, it uses aspects of the old ones. Like it's really
Like absorbs
awesome.
them?
No, like what it is
Had like the liquid.
it's a
kind of-
hybrid of the original T-800 metal, and it's also the T-1000 liquid.
Yeah.
It's both, not just one or
Yeah,
the other.
Right.
The designation, by the way, is Rev 9.
Yeah, there you go.
Huh.
Okay.
Interesting.
That is totally different.
Yes.
Yep.
T-Rev 9.
This movie takes the franchise and turns it on its head. So
Yeah.
it's nothing what you expect.
Okay.
So yeah, just any fight with the Rev 9 in that movie is completely amazing.
Yeah,
So
definitely
that's-
gonna see it then.
The
Yeah.
action is really where this movie shines, and apparently doesn't. I heard it doesn't shine very much else.
I beg to differ, but that's a discussion for another time.
Okay.
Yeah, I gotta admit the action, it had a really good story, but the action was definitely its main point of the whole entire movie. I especially like the last scene with
Rev 9?
Yeah, the final
Rev 9.
battle scene. The nominee.
if you don't want spoilers, cover your ears. But it was a fight to the death, basically, and
As well
but
it should be.
that's my opinion.
All right, and
All right.
so
All right.
I have just been handed the envelope, and the winner is for best action scene, John Wick with the knife fight,
Bravo. Yeah.
and accepting the award for John Wick and the knife fight is John Wick himself, Keanu Reeves. Whoa. I've got to say that this is quite the award. Thank you guys. Thank the Academy of Geeks. This geeky means a whole lot to me, and you know when I took on the role and I did the first movie and the second movie, when it came time to do the third movie, they just gave me this choreographer and they were like, "You're gonna learn how to knife fight." And they just downloaded the knife fight onto me, and I was like, "Whoa, I can knife fight." And then they were like, "Show me," and then I showed them, and that's how we filmed that scene. So thank you to the choreographers, and I can't wait to see what we got in store for John Wick 4. Whoa, cool.
Thank you, Mr. Reeves. You are breathtaking.
Yes,
you are
are.
breathtaking, Mr. Reeves.
John Wick from Fortnite.
All right. Keanu Reeves is here, ladies and gentlemen. That was exciting. We're getting bigger and bigger stars as the awards go on.
It's amazing.
Tell us what we win next.
What's our next category?
For excellence in VFX in a film, the nominees are Godzilla, King of the Monsters, Avengers Endgame, and Alita, Battle Angel. Gentlemen?
All right. So I actually really loved the effects in Godzilla. I think for me, in terms of the most realistic effects of the year, I think Godzilla was fantastic. I mean, even though these are giant kaiju monsters, I thought that the way that the monsters were represented really looked organic. I didn't get taken out of the movie by the effects at any significant point where it was just like, oh, that looks so fake. Everything that I saw in that movie, and plus there was so much. You figure like, I know they probably didn't spend as much as something like Endgame, but if you figure they spent a lot of money on the effects in this movie because there's so many monster fight scenes and shots of the monsters and interactions with the monsters in this movie. Mm-hmm. And again, like everything from Mothra to King Ghidorah to all the other titans and kaiju that we see in this movie, like they all look really good. They move really well. They're very well animated. They just feel like living creatures, even if they are these like kind of mythical, like awesome, larger than life creatures. Like, I think they matched it well with all of the different like lighting situations. They didn't contrast them too much from the humans. Like they all looked like they were in the same room. Mm-hmm. Where sometimes effects, it looks like they're in a different place. You know, there's different lights for the humans and different lights for the CGI characters. So I love the CGI in Godzilla, and that was one of my favorites.
Yeah. For
You gonna do Alita?
Yeah, for me, I wanted to say Alita. I wanted to like kind of bring it up specifically since you said that, like, you know, as far as realistic effects, for me, I thought Alita did such a great job bringing a character that's from a manga to life, where you can still see that it's akin to a manga, but there were so many times that like I felt like I wasn't sure if I was looking at an actual human body or a CGI body, and it was all CGI. But like I think they did an amazing job with inserting Alita in this human world and blurring the line. Like I really didn't see too often. If it wasn't for the fact that the eyes give the tell that it's not a real human. Aside from that, like I couldn't tell for the most part that Alita wasn't a human character. With just like a superimposed face, for example.
And do you remember that they tweaked the eyes?
They did tweak the eyes to make it look a little bit more human because they felt like the initial reactions were that the eyes were too manga-esque and stuff like that. And I can understand that. I think that like me personally, I'm a fan of keeping things. I don't want to say true to form, but whatever the artist's concept is, like let the artist be. Appreciate what the artist contributed to it. Don't make the artist change the work that they've done. That goes to some like Sonic, for example, where yes, the new Sonic does look better, but I didn't think that the old Sonic was that bad. I'm more of a fan of like let's appreciate the artist's interpretation and go from there. So, but anyway, that's my whole thing on Alita. I thought that Alita was very well done, especially when you consider that like there's so much of the other characters in there, and their CGI. Like, what was that like badass like ninja robot dude? He was basically like fully robotic upgrade and everything.
Yeah, I don't remember the name. I remember the actor that played it. It was Ed Skrein that played it.
Right.
But I don't remember. Yeah, but he was really well done.
Yeah. A lot of the CGI in this movie was done really. Exactly. I thought it was great. I thought it was amazing personally. It was pretty true to the book, by the way, for the most part. I mean, there were some changes and stuff like that, but it stayed relatively true to like the books, and I think and mainly the very, very short anime that was released. It was like 2 or 3 episodes, I believe. So
yeah, I think some of the scenes were like pulled directly from.
Yeah, and I love that. I felt like Lita didn't get like the buzz that it deserved, but we're talking about realism in VFX, so. And the last, I believe we got one more, right?
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of like it's Endgame. It's too popular. It's too much of a blockbuster. But I have to give it credit because when you see the original and what it looks like without VFX, I'm actually really super surprised because it looks like most of the whole entire movie is made up of VFX,
You know,
especially
suits,
yeah,
most
Yeah.
of the backgrounds.
the settings.
Doctor Strange's cape,
I know.
cowl. It isn't even a real one.
You know what? You're right about that. And that's the thing. That movie was pretty much done like 80% on a green screen, and you got to kind of give it to the actors for like being able to like act with
Sell that,
no
yeah.
set around there. It's basically like acting blind, you could say. You know, for the most part, they're not even in costume. They're on mocap.
Just
So-
like to that point though, like I really want to explore a little bit and find out a little bit more. I don't know if you guys heard that Jon Favreau on The Mandalorian apparently did something really different. I don't recall what it is, and maybe this is a topic for another time. I don't want to get too
you're
deep
right. I
into it.
saw that, and I wanted to investigate that. Like, what
Yeah.
was it? Because it was something very different. Like,
He did it in such a way where they had something more concrete to interact with, even if it was a CGI character or whatever it is. But I don't want to get too far off the topic. I would definitely like to explore that since we're on the topic of VFX,
Yes.
but for a later time. All right.
So we're going to announce the winner. And I have the envelope. Thank you very much. And the winner is... for Best Special Effects, Avengers Endgame.
Bravo again.
Yay.
This is certainly becoming a trend.
Yes, it is. You know,
Again.
again, they didn't do it in the Oscars, but they're doing it here. And to accept the award is VFX artist Hannibal Mauricios Canatalan Basil Datuna.
sounds German.
I don't know.
Eastern
Welcome,
European?
Mr. VFX.
It sounds like a menu for different fish.
Well, thank you very much. But we did a lot of work on this stuff here. It's a lot of motion caption, a lot of vector drawings and stuff like that. And we utilize the computers to the best of our ability and stuff like that. And this is going to be the whole thing. And I'd like to thank all the Academy and the Geekies and my wife. She's very incremental and doing the stuff that I do. And no, don't do this to me. Don't. I still have plenty more people to talk about. Don't do this to me. Computers rule the world.
Thank you for that take.
Security?
I'm back.
Security.
I'm back.
Will somebody get this guy out? Mr.
Listen.
Datuna.
Listen.
Mr. Datuna.
VFX,
Thank you.
okay,
thank
guy,
you.
come
My
on.
name is Hannibal.
Hannibal.
Leave me alone.
Somebody. Okay.
Listen. Stop.
Okay. All right. I think this situation.
Sir,
We
you
got it
must
back
be
under control,
removed from the
so
premises.
Moving
Hannibal is
along.
back.
Is it under? Oh my God. Somebody get
Where's
this
the
guy
cane?
off the stage.
Where's the
please.
cane?
Please come with me to the chopper.
Mr. Reeves, can you help us out with this? Mr. Reeves, can you get this guy off stage?
What?
Knife fight him off the stage.
Oh,
Listen. Keanu, I will digitally remove you from the film.
oh, dude,
Dude.
come on. You don't really want me to take
I'm
you
just
down.
saying.
No,
Is there anybody else here who can help?
I have the power of the computer.
I am
Chris
a fully
Evans?
operational T800.
Cyberdyne.
We have a Terminator here trying to take
Terminators.
this guy out. How is this not working? Okay. I think. All right.
I
he's
think the
finally-
Terminator scared him off.
He's finally leaving the stage. All right. Let's move on to the next category. We have some other maniac take up all. Go away. Take up all take all the breath out of the room, the air out of the oxygen.
I think Walt is dealing with. Oh no, he's back.
Who's the next
Hello, everybody.
category?
Thank you
Jeez.
very much. Okay.
All right.
In our next.
All right.
Stop.
All right. Moving along.
Moving along. Our next category is Best Actor in a Film. And the nominees for Best Actor in a Film are actors in a film, Adam Driver for a marriage story. I'm sorry, there's no A in it. It's Marriage Story. Joaquin Phoenix for Joker, and Adam Sandler for Uncut Gems. Gentlemen, please take this away.
Okay, so my big nominee for this year is a little bit out of the main geek culture, but again, There are movie geeks out there, and I geeked out about the movie Uncut Gems with Adam Sandler in this past year. That is easily one of my favorite movies of the year. Maybe not my absolute favorite, but the performance that he gives is really fantastic because, without giving too much away about the movie, he plays a jewel, like a jewel dealer in the jewelry district in Manhattan, and he's this character that's always trying to. He's a gambler. He's a very heavy gambler. He's addicted to it, and he's always trying to get one over in every situation. So he's like kind of addicted to the adrenaline of like betting on something and winning something. He bets more than money in a way. Like he doesn't actually, I guess, place bets on other things, but like he ends up wagering a lot of other things in his life as a result of his gambling addiction. And the way that Adam Sandler plays it is like the whole movie is really manic, but the way that he plays it is like perfectly kind of encapsulating and taking you through that movie's manic energy and all of its crazy twists and turns. And I have loved Adam Sandler as an actor for years outside of his movies that are kind of like meh, like his vacations with his friends. But like Punch Drunk Love and Spanglish and other movies of his I've been a fan of in the past. And so I think he, to me, was definitely among the absolute best this year.
I actually agree. I was very shocked and appalled that he didn't get any kind of recognition at the Oscars.
Yeah.
It's personally, I think it's just unfair because it was one of those amazing, stunning, transformative performances. You know what I mean? It's a performance. So usually Oscars not, recognize, or films generally recognize actors that transform themselves into a character. And this character was, through and through, heavily addicted to gambling, to its own detriment actor. And that was kind of like the story of what happens to gamblers that are addicted and don't find a way out.
You really believe it, yeah. You really believe the way that he plays it in this movie. What else do you guys think of the other nominees? Because I think they were all great, but...
Well, Adam Driver played quite different roles this year. I believe he had a total of 3 movies, right?
3, all very critically acclaimed. Well,
right, exactly.
2 critically acclaimed. One where his performance was critically acclaimed, but the movie itself was not at all critically acclaimed in any way
Which movie is
whatsoever.
that,
I don't.
We'll talk about it at some point this evening.
But we're gonna really talk about his performance in The Marriage Story, and in The Marriage Story, he plays a very, very believable character. I mean, you really feel, based on his performance, you feel the highs and the lows of what's going on. You feel the pain,
right?
And he's kind of, if you really look on the face of it, toward the end, it's revealed he's kind of a little bit of a douchey character when it comes to his marriage per se.
Yeah.
But you do see the love that he has for his child and his kid and the struggle that he has with that. And, in some way, sense of form, he still actually cares about his, soon-to-be ex-wife, right? And one of the biggest moving scenes was that very end when he's sitting with his son and he's reading that letter.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that was a powerful performance right there. So I think, he deserves the accolades, and he's quickly becoming one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, I gotta say,
sure.
Favorite actors, I'm sorry.
Well, I just as a mention, one thing that was really great about him in that movie for me, about all the characters, is that I think what was great about it is this movie was well written, but it also wasn't concerned necessarily with having perfect dialogue, because it left room for people who were very mad and very emotional to say kind of stupid things, like you really would in a real argument.
Yeah.
So that's what I kind of like, because like all the stuff at the end that was almost ridiculous when he got angry when they were fighting, him and Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
But it was supposed to be kind of like, it's such a ridiculous situation. I think that the movie did that well, and he conveyed that well in his role.
And I also think that kind of like what you were saying. In anger, he says something that he really didn't mean, and you can see the minute that he said it, it was like one of these things. Oh crap! I just said that. I can't take it back.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
and you saw it in his face, and that's just high level acting right there.
Well, the thing about that one scene that you're talking about, it's when his character and Scarlett Johansson's character are trying to hash it out in person without the lawyers. And yeah, he just completely blows up. And the powerful part about that scene is that he blows up and he says things that he definitely doesn't mean, but they're very, very hurtful. And yet, because he completely broke down to his knees, Scarlett Johansson's characters didn't really, I don't think that she was affected by the words as much as she was affected by like how this whole situation has made him feel, because she embraced him after that. After she just got completely destroyed with insults, she embraced him instead of like feeding it, like kind of hitting him back in kind.
That scene just showed
it was
great
strong. It was so
interplay
strong.
between the two.
Yeah.
It was very powerful. Scene.
That was where they both realized how far beyond what they had initially envisioned for their separation, how far beyond that they had gone.
Yeah. So
And last but not least, it's
Joaquin Phoenix.
Mr. Joaquin Phoenix.
I mean,
there's not much to be said about that.
He's a very good actor in
It's
general.
just an amazing performance by him.
I mean, once again, we're talking about transformative performances. The man transformed himself into the Joker. So
He transformed himself into Mr. Fleck.
Definitely.
All right.
So let's get to it.
So those are our nominees, and I have the envelope in hand here, and they're going to announce the winner. And the winner is Joaquin Phoenix, Joker.
Bravo. Nice change in pace. I do agree.
Tonight, actually accepting the award for Joaquin Phoenix, who could not be here, will be Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren will be accepting the award. Mr. Ren, that is not how you run an awards show. You need a teacher. I hate you, and I hate everything about you, and I wish you were dead. All right. Oh, God. I have to put the past behind me somehow. All right.
just let it die.
I cannot let it die. Okay. You're all a bunch of filthy junk traders. Look, Joaquin didn't deserve this award. I deserve this award for the other movie that Kylo Ren was in this year. I was in Marriage Story with Black Widow. I deserve all the awards, all of them. And none of you can take this away from me. Anyway, congratulations to Joaquin Phoenix for a fantastic performance. And the Empire definitely, the First Order definitely salutes your performance this year. Thank you very much. And I hope you die.
Hey, Kylo, you going back to Undercover Boss?
What are you talking about? I've never been on that show. I don't know what you mean. All right. Well, here's your crappy awards. Get out of here with this garbage. All right.
And
Thank you very much, Kylo Ren.
Thank
for
you,
that
Mr. Ren.
Rousing speech.
Thank
We're
you.
very lucky we didn't need to call security.
Security.
Thank you for
Security.
that. All right. That wasn't as bad as Hannibal.
Leave Hannibal alone. Get that guy. All right. Anyway. Okay, so now our next category in the Geekies. We're almost there, guys.
Almost there.
Best villain in a film. And the nominees are Jojo Rabbit, Hitler. That's a weird name. I mean, really? Okay,
He's a villain.
Oh, boy.
Okay, anyway. That
He's
was
a
weird
fictional villain here.
to say. Okay, played by Taika Waititi. Avengers Endgame, Thanos, played by
Josh Brolin.
Josh Brolin. I'm sorry, boy. I'm still hung up on the Hitler thing. You know what I'm saying? And Godzilla, King of Monsters, Ghidorah,
That's a good
played
nominee.
by King Ghidorah. Gentlemen, please speak on this stuff.
So
Anyway.
the reason why I picked Ghidorah is because, god dang it, I have waited so long for a reinterpretation of this character. It is, if not Mechagodzilla, King Ghidorah is the iconic Godzilla villain. And then just to see how Michael Dougherty transformed that, like, he played very heavily into kingships in the movie, and I think rightly so, because it really is about who is the king of the monsters. Obviously, it's Godzilla, but sometimes Godzilla gets one-upped, and I liked how he showed that, yeah, these dethronings, so to say, do happen, and Ghidorah was the perfect villain to have do that in a Godzilla movie, because there are very few villains that actually defeat Godzilla.
I think I kind of agree actually, because it's very different and unique. It's a unique villain because of it. There's not much. It's a villain that's. It's not. It doesn't have any actor. It has voice. It has a voice actor, obviously, but yeah. But the thing is, it's so different from the rest of the actors because it's the only villain that can't be, even though it's hard to
a
explain.
VFX villain.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
it's
a
not
menace
like
that doesn't need to have a voice.
Right.
It just needs
Yeah,
to scare the
that's-
crap out of you
Yeah, it
with
just
what
needs
it
to be a
does.
real villain. It's a monster.
I think it works out pretty great.
Yeah.
I heard that.
Going on to with Thanos, he's the consummate villain. He's been the villain for how many movies of the MCU? Basically, he's the villain in the background. And the thing about Thanos is that he is such an imposing villain. You could say, he's like he walks and talks like he's a god. Mm-hmm. He, kind of. He really believes in his cause.
Mm-hmm.
He's called the Mad Titan for a reason, and that's one of the marquee things about being a villain is that you have to be more than just your typical like your bank robber or your I'm just heist of the week or something like that. You know what I mean? This is like Thanos is being a much more grandiose kind of bad guy. Because he's not just a villain to one hero; he's a villain to the entire universe, and that's I think like what makes Thanos, such a great villain.
I concur.
Right, and and finally we have Jojo Rabbit. Hitler.
All right. I'll take this one. I'll take this
cool.
one.
Please do.
Because I saw Jojo Rabbit.
Please do.
Well, okay, so like this one is it's a little bit of a gag, but like, so you guys know the premise of Jojo Rabbit?
I do not.
Me
Okay.
neither.
So Jojo Rabbit, it's
I
this little
kinda
kid.
do, actually, yeah.
It's this little kid. Basically, he's the main character. His name is Jojo, as the movie implies. And he is, he's basically like a Hitler youth. Okay, in like World War II Germany, he's obsessed with Hitler. He's like obsessed with Hitler the way like a teenage girl is obsessed with Justin Bieber. Okay, like that's what he's got like posters.
Wow, really?
It's wild, okay? It's wild, but it's played for laughs, right? Because this is like a comedy drama movie. And like his best friend, his best friend is his imaginary friend, Adolf Hitler, played by Taika Waititi. So
Right.
the entire movie, and Scarlett Johansson is JoJo's mother, and there's a lot of like there's like some intersecting with the tale of the Holocaust in here. I won't give it away beyond that, right? But like the way that he plays the character is like it's hilarious, obviously, because it's Taika Waititi. But there's definitely moments of menace, like funny menace. But like, I mean, also, it's freaking Adolf Hitler. He's like one of the most villainous villains of all time, and he's been a villain in fiction before too. Like he's been a villain in fiction so
Right.
many times. He's basically like a fictional character almost at
Preacher.
this point in a weird way,
Supernatural.
right? Yeah.
He was in Supernatural. Okay.
There was another movie that came out. Guess Who's
Inglourious
Back?
Bastards?
It was called. There was some movie that Inglourious Bastards. But there was another movie called
Oh,
Guess
that
Who's
is a
Back.
good movie.
999.
So he's been a fictional villain before. So that's why I thought, you know what? I really enjoyed his villainous persona, again, played for laughs, in this movie. That's why I thought he would be a good nominee for the Geekies.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So we have that, and the award goes to Endgame, Avengers Endgame, Thanos.
Bravo. Well, going back to the status
Really
quo,
cleaning
but
up.
Yes, I
okay,
know.
it's
Really
deserved.
cleaning up.
And accepting the award is King Ghidorah.
Do we have a translator?
Yes, he's saying. Okay, so I'm fluent in this. All right, so he's saying. So he's saying that. He's saying.
Taking up the stage. I mean,
All right, so
stage is about to break.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so he's saying that
Give him a chance to translate.
yeah, could you
Ghidorah, please.
Give him a chance to translate. Not everybody speaks
All
this
right,
language.
so
Oh my God.
so
Okay.
all right, so
You tell him to move.
all right,
I don't think the music's gonna work yet.
yeah,
Godzilla, please.
so
All right.
I'm sorry about that, but what I was trying to translate
Somehow he left.
was that thank you. I, the false king, the one who is many, gladly accept this award on behalf of Thanos. The reason why he couldn't be here today is because he got dusted like a chump. Well, to be fair, I got dusted like a chump too, but then again, who's going to really cross me except for my immortal enemy? But nonetheless, good job, Thanos. I'm definitely happy that you received this award, and I'll be back for you all. I'll rain down vicious and awesome
because
destruction upon you.
Because no one dies in the MCU.
Thank you for that translation, and thank you, King Ghidorah, for that excellent speech. Moving on.
Okay, moving on.
You have some eccentric award acceptance speeches this year.
It's getting worse.
All right.
All right. Our next category is proficiency in worst moment of the year.
Oh boy.
Our nominees are Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, and
It's a crowded field.
Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker.
I knew it.
Oh my god! I don't know who's gonna win.
I knew these would be the nominees.
This may take a long time to talk about because the nominee field is vast and very diverse. But
we have
can we at least try?
we have a keynote. We have a speaker who's going to guide us through this
Mr.
award of achievement.
Mr. Gabriel, a.k.a. Keanu.
All right,
Please
guys.
take it away.
So it is my absolute pleasure and honor to present this first annual non-geeky award.
Prestigious.
Okay, it's
Very prestigious.
It's an amazing. It's a grand honor for me simply because, as a Star Wars fan, I was really looking forward to this film, and I feel like if it wasn't for the years of devotion that I've had to the Star Wars lore, that I would not be able to just completely tear down and rip the crap out of this movie that deserves this award wholeheartedly.
Here
Okay.
come J.J. Abrams.
Is he upset about your assessment of this film?
JJ, don't test me.
JJ.
I'm Keanu Reeves' coach.
Call him Darth Abrams.
Easy,
Abrams.
JJ.
No, seriously. On a serious note, this film deserves this award wholeheartedly, simply because it did absolutely nothing to further the beauty and the lore of Star Wars. Instead, what it did was destroy another Star Wars film. Whether you liked it or not, no film should ever try to destroy another one just because they felt like it's what was needed. Because you end up giving us half of a film. Okay, so this film was more like half of a film that answered no questions that anyone asked, brought up a bunch of I think non-starters. It was a lot of fan service, you could say.
Too much.
It was the footnote movie. It was
Maybe
The Last Jedi.
too much fan service, but it's supposed to be the end of a saga, and it never was. It did not end anything, and in my view, the movie doesn't really exist. I'm still gonna wait for the end of the saga, whether it be fan fiction or something else. I don't know, because personally, I don't know how you can make a film like this, even though certain people in Disney say that there is no source material apparently, and that's why they had to make this movie the way that they did. But it is
Shameful.
what it is. So
I mean, it really ended up this way because we all kind of picked a moment from The Rise of Skywalker as like the worst moment.
I still haven't announced the winner yet.
Wait,
Shall I announce the winner?
that wasn't the winner? Oh wait, that's right. It was between The Rise of Skywalker, The Rise of Skywalker, and The Rise of Skywalker.
And guess what?
Which one won?
The winner is The Rise of Skywalker.
and specifically, worst moment of the year is the day that they announced that the movie was coming out.
You're talking about the release date?
Not the actual day that the movie came out, the day that they announced the release date.
You're talking about the first trailer?
The very first trailer.
Rey Skywalker.
Because that is the beginning
I
of
am
the
Rey.
end.
That's my moment. Terrible.
All right.
Terrible.
I think I've and it's apparently so bad that no one from the film is here to pick up this award. So
I wonder if that's a coincidence or not.
maybe I'm surprised that Palpatine isn't here, since they keep bringing him back.
Well,
for no
Kylo was
reason.
here, but like I don't know where the heck
He
went.
bounced. He's at the after
probably-
party.
Kylo was the only good thing about the movie, so I would not want to present it to him.
Probably sensed
anyway.
this award was coming anyway. He was
Kill the
like,
past.
I don't want to deal with this.
Security will mail it to the remains of the Death
All
Star
right, so-
immediately.
He's hanging out with Hannibal.
Moving right along.
Alrighty then.
After that
Final category.
prestigious
No,
award.
what? Oh,
We got two more.
Yeah.
Two
Oh,
more.
okay.
Two more categories, and then we wrap up the first annual Geekies.
And
All
our
right.
next category, proficiency in badassery, the best badass moment of the year. Our first nominee is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Brad Pitt, Leonardo DiCaprio, The House Invasion. Avengers Endgame, Cap wielding the mighty Mjolnir, meow meow,
meow meow.
and
Yeah.
Godzilla, King of the Monsters, Burning Godzilla. Gentlemen.
All great choices. All great choices.
Yeah. So remember when I was saying earlier that King Ghidorah was something that we desperately needed to see again? Well, so was one of Godzilla's most iconic transformations. This is like to make it, to equate it to something that I'm sure most geeks out there probably know and love. The first time Goku goes Super Saiyan, anytime he goes Super Saiyan, the fans go nuts. Burning Godzilla is the equivalent of that. And just to see that form again in all of its destructive majesty, like when he starts coming down to King Ghidorah, everything is melting
Yeah.
as he is walking.
He doesn't even have to do anything. It's just
Yeah.
like
There's just
destroying
an
everything around
added
me.
that was never in the original concept before, mind you.
okay.
So that's what makes this all the more. This makes it awesome.
And then he has the pulses, right?
Yes, which actually have traces of Mothra in it.
I actually agree with that because that was my second choice on my list. That was a fantastic reimagination of Burning Godzilla. Burning Godzilla was just super badass in that movie. I mean, that was literally, like you said, the Super Saiyan moment where he just leveled up past 9,000. You know what I'm saying? That was a really good thing. The other one is the House Invasion, which with Brad Pitt, and I put in Leonardo DiCaprio in there, and I shouldn't have because that was Brad Pitt's moment.
It was mainly, but I
Yeah.
mean, Leonardo DiCaprio did kind of
At
put
the
a
very
nice
end.
cherry
He had a
on top
moment.
of
He
it.
had a moment.
He put
A
the cherry
very
on
nice
top,
cherry.
right?
Yeah.
which was tied to the beginning of the movie, which I appreciated.
Yeah,
'cause that was the
the
flamethrower.
cherry
from
on top in the pool.
his other film. But this action scene, okay, so I should have expected it. I guess I don't know why I didn't expect it because that's like Tarantino's thing now. He kind of changes reality in his movies, which he's been doing since
Yeah.
like Inglourious Bastards,
Yeah.
basically. But like, yeah, this scene is awesome because he like takes the Manson murders, which are some of those famous Hollywood murders ever, turns them on their head and says, like, you know what, Sharon Tate and all of them, you're gonna survive because this guy, Brad Pitt's character, just happens to be the first person that they decide to come across instead. And he was fighting Bruce Lee earlier in the movie, so he is not a pushover.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of I sense the weirdness about that scene, but the Bruce Lee scene, and I kind of get it. But and you guys remember, I don't know if you got a chance to see it, but I sent you the article with the true story.
I did. Yeah, I did.
Which is
read it,
amazing.
yeah.
The true story behind that is amazing. But not to get off topic,
Yeah,
that
with Gene
scene
LaBelle.
was such an interesting story. But that scene was very interesting in its twisting of the reality, in its brutality, and in its comedy all at the same time. So that was definitely one of the more badass scenes. I mean, the way he took out some of these people with like cans of beer, all this other stuff, awesome. Great badass moment of the year. And I think that leads us into the final moment here, right? Which is
He is worthy.
Cap and Mew Mew.
Meow, meow.
You know, we got to say that like that probably out of the entire film, that was the moment that just I think everybody who was watching that movie at the exact same time in the entire world collectively gave a big sigh and like and then started clapping and like cheering like crazy because that was just such an awesome moment. And then to see that he didn't just grab the hammer and like just did one swing. He fought with the hammer for an extended period of time. And, we spoke about it earlier already. And it really is one of the most badass moments, I think, in at least action film history. So,
And
it was
then
total
to have-
fan service.
Then to have Thor say, "He knew it."
Right,
all the right comedic moments
because
too.
it's a callback
knew
to it's a callback to the first Avenger movie, right?
Right.
Or
Where
the second
like,
one.
The second one.
The second one?
Ultron. That
Oh,
was
that's
Ultron.
right, Age of Ultron, where he kind of moved this slightly and then
You see Thor's face
he kind
there.
of like got worried when yeah, exactly, and I think that like they had like kind of in an interview somewhere said that like Cap knew that he could pick it up but just chose not to, so he doesn't break Thor's spirit. Like that was set
Yeah.
somewhere in
I think-
outside of the film
Was
and
it the
stuff.
writers?
So.
There was somebody.
Yeah,
that
like
said
the
that they
writers and
always
stuff,
envisioned
yeah.
it that way.
Feeling, I think said it.
Yes, Marcus and McFeely.
Yeah, because for Thor's character, like at that time,
that was the Russos that said
that it was the Russos
not the
because
writers.
it was the Russos because they the way they describe Thor at that time at that state is his whole identity is that hammer, and Cap being the leader of the team knew that he can't really break Thor's identity like that. He knew that he could pick it up, but he didn't.
It makes sense if you tie it into how Thor's character ended up.
Exactly,
in the game,
exactly.
In a way too.
So
So it makes sense from their perspective.
Yeah, and it's funny because they didn't, they put that scene in there specific, probably because they knew that they wanted to do this at some point in the future. So,
All right. So
we have. I think we have the envelope here.
Yes.
let me grab the envelope. I think the presenter will be here in just a moment.
Hold on.
All right. So
Hannibal's still running around there, but I think
somebody
we see him.
grab Hannibal. I'll do the. I'll take the envelope. Thank you.
back, bitches.
And the winner for most badass moment is Avengers Cap Mjolnir.
Bravo.
All right.
This is a little
Winner,
bit too much now, but
Okay, so it looks like the person that will be accepting the award today.
It looks like it's a duo.
What's going on here? Why is Chris Hemsworth here? Wait, Thor? Thor, what are you doing here, Thor? I'm just here to visit a friend from work. Who will be present? Who are you, mortal, that's presenting with me today?
I am the one and only Captain America.
Why are you here? Are you here to accept?
It's my award,
No, it's not your award because Mjolnir is my weapon. So,
but I'm the one that's worthy.
but I'm also worthy because I remember early in the movie I totally was worthy when Mjolnir came to me. You remember in the past when my
remember
mom dies? Remember that part?
Right,
Remember
right.
that?
But you were fat.
All right. Well, you don't have to lean on that. All right.
But
all right?
you were.
I thought we were friends.
No, we are.
Would somebody that's worthy to wield Mjolnir really be insulting the person
I'm not insulting. I'm just being
who has
truthful.
Mjolnir?
I'm just being truthful.
All right.
I'm just being truthful.
This is
and
ridiculous.
let's remember.
This is absolutely
that
ridiculous.
I was the one that used the hammer when you were getting beat up.
Fine.
I saved.
All right.
I saved your butt.
All right, but who gave it to you in the first place? Who even suggested that you could use or pick up the hammer at any point in the
I
past?
think we established that a few movies ago. I was already able to pick it up. I just didn't want to
Look,
hurt your
either
feelings.
way, that's why you get the smaller hammer.
I didn't.
I get Stormbreaker because you get to wield the smaller weapon.
That's fine. I'll let you have the big stick. It's kind of overcompensating, I'm assuming.
All right, whatever. All right, I'm out of here. Fine, take your reward. I've had enough of this mess. I don't have to deal with this. I'm a god of Asgard. I'm gonna go hang out with Loki, and we're gonna stab each other while we turn into snakes.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Thor from Asgardians of the Galaxy and Captain America.
Thank you.
Who's
Thank
old?
you guys. Thank you. And I just want to say, Thor, language.
You're overrated.
Captain America, go take your Geritol.
Overrated.
And thank you, gentlemen.
All right.
Okay, don't destroy anything on the way out. Say hello to Hannibal and King Ghidorah. They're in the after party.
Watch out for Kylo. He's mad.
Yes, Kylo. Yeah, Kylo's partying. Last I heard, he was up on the bar.
Oh, okay.
He was swinging. Well, I'm not.
He
gonna
was
get
Ben
into it.
soloing it up.
He's doing his Coyote Ugly.
Yeah. We're not going to get into that.
All right then.
There are lightsabers swinging, and we don't need to know.
All right.
Anyway, we are going to now come. We are now at the final category of the first annual Geekies Award, sponsored by.
You can't make that face. You can't make that face and expect us not to laugh.
character. He's getting into character. Okay.
Hey guys, this is user Get Geek Outreach from the subreddit Get Geek Podcast. We have all types of conversations going on in the subreddit. We have conversations about TV and streaming services, movies, comics, discussions, even more discussions. We have all the discussions. So come on over to the Get Geek Podcast subreddit. You'll love it, I tell you. Also, have a great time at this award ceremony. This commercial has ended.
That was a word from our sponsor.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right.
All right. We're at it. This is it. This
great
is the
award.
end. This is the big one.
The coup de Gracie.
Gracie?
Coup de grace.
Hoist?
Coup de grace.
Hoist Gracie?
It's
Wrong.
coup de gras, coup de foie gras. I don't know.
All
Whatever
right.
it is.
So
Doesn't
we
matter.
are
Coup de
in the
grace.
category of what is it? Well,
Some
In the
random
category of Best Film of 2019, the nominees are Avengers Endgame,
again.
Joker, and Parasite. Gentlemen, take it away.
All right. So I'll go with my pick first, although I definitely enjoyed all of these movies. I just recently saw Parasite. It did win, I know, Best Picture at the Oscars. And I don't always agree with the Oscars for Best Picture every year. Green Book. I don't always agree. Sometimes I think those movies are actually pretty terrible, and they're just trying to fulfill some whatever agenda it is, and it doesn't have to necessarily be a specifically political or woke agenda, whatever it is. There's always something that I don't quite get the Oscars. But I digress. Let me not get off it too far. Parasite was an absolutely fantastic movie, and it's from a director who's done some great geek fare before. Again, Bong Joon-ho, I believe is his name. He's the director who did Snowpiercer. I haven't seen all of his other films, but they're very highly regarded. Yes. I'm going to explore them more because I loved Snowpiercer, and I really loved Parasite. It's one of the best movies I've seen in the last few years, honestly. Like, it's beautifully directed. It's incredibly well acted. It's really funny at the beginning. It takes some great turns into darker territory at the end. It's got great subtext. It's got great themes. Like, it's just a great movie that I think anyone that would enjoy a movie that's a little more thought-provoking, and not that any of these other movies are. I don't want to take anything away from them. Obviously, there's a lot of great geek movies out there where, like, it's about the feeling, too. But, like, this movie just, I don't know. It's just a fantastic film from start to finish. in the first few minutes, it was better than almost any other movie that I saw this year. Like, really it was in the first 10, 15 minutes. So Parasite, for me, is definitely a great choice for Best Film of the Year. But let's hear about our other nominees as well.
Right in the vein of thought-provoking, you have Joker also. Like, there are a lot of themes in that one. For one, you definitely get a sense of, like, classism, struggles with classism in that movie, mental health issues, just issues with the system itself, you know? Like, there's a lot going on in that movie, and what's really good about it, I find, is that at first, maybe there were those critics that said, okay, this is like, you got to tone it down with the wokeness here, guys. But, it's important to have these conversations, and I think that's part of what makes the Joker so great, the ability to provoke these questions, these conversations.
Well, I mean, that's the thing about the Joker. He's the ultimate provocateur. So, that if there's anything that embodies what the Joker character himself is someone that loves to provoke, society, other people, and the audience and stuff like that from a character standpoint. So, it really does take someone with the creative, like someone like Todd Phillips and Joaquin Phoenix to be able to, pull this out of the bag the way that they did. So, but we have one more in the category, yeah?
Yes.
One small movie.
Avengers.
It was nothing.
Which I have to give credit to.
The indie film.
The indie film. Yeah, it's a short film.
Not very well known.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Bucks, I heard.
Yeah. I think it was a good movie, but at the same time, it kind of did already win, like, how many awards? So I can't.
What?
I already gave
Joker
it enough.
or Endgame?
Endgame. I already gave it enough credit.
Oh, and our Geeky Awards, yes.
Yeah.
That's one.
But
Several awards.
I just want to put out that Joker was a great movie because it put out a lot of the problems that we see going on. It shed some light on the problems, but it gave it a darker tone.
I will say about Joker, I will make a quick comment about that as well, because I guess we have kind of exhausted all there is to say about Endgame as a nominee. We can just give it a brief mention. But with Joker, I think what was great about it was that it gave you a chance to sympathize with the character without destroying the thing that we all love about the Joker. Is any of this real? Is he telling the truth? We don't know. And Todd Phillips himself even hinted at that in an interview a few weeks later, how like some people that he showed the movie to were like, oh, I get it. It's not real. Like, he's just telling a joke. This is all in his head. Mm-hmm. And some other of his friends apparently. And he said this all in an interview, which I think is maybe hinting at something greater. Who knows? But he's also like, one of the other people said, oh, it's not the real Joker. I get it. This guy is inspiring the real Joker, which are things that we kind of had as thoughts as well. So that's for me why definitely Joker deserves to be in the category at the very least. So, and again, also Avengers Endgame. Yes. That.
And so
Here comes that lovely person with the envelope.
On behalf of the dedicated security staff at this here Geeky Awards,
Is that Arnold?
this is Ensign T-851.
Nope, that's Arnold. Oh, no, Gary.
It is actually Bob.
Oh, Bob?
Bob.
Bob. Who's Bob? Not Gary? Oh, Gary from SpongeBob. Bob.
Just
Go.
please continue.
Bob.
In accordance
let the man
with
speak.
the selection made by the Geeky Award ceremony, the best film nominee that has won the award goes to The Joker.
Get to the chopper.
Really nice win.
The Joker is a very outstanding movie, as I have heard. It does well in provoking very great conversations, and it is sad that Joaquin Phoenix could not
Excuse me?
reboot.
I think your hand just fell off.
Hey, yo, Adrian, I think this
Yeah.
robot is having a problem over here.
Systems back online.
There we go.
All in all, The Joker is a movie that excels in all categories, and it is why it has won the Best Film nomination for the Geeky Awards. We will mail this Geeky Award to the studios that produced this movie.
You mean Todd Phillips and Warner Brothers?
Hey, yo.
All right.
That would be correct, citizen.
How come we never did a movie where the T-800 fought Rocky?
That would be a very one-sided match.
Oh, you would like to think so.
If he dies, he dies.
I'm a piece of iron. You have no idea. All right. So, man, we have had an eccentric number of presenters
Great,
and
greatness of
acceptance
celebrities.
speeches this evening.
But there's no Tumas.
I'm not sure how we got the Terminator. I thought he was kind of a robot, but thanks for showing up, Mr. Terminator. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Listen.
Well, was that not was that not the most exciting awards ceremony this year?
Quite, it's at least one of the most eventful.
We did.
That's different.
More eventful than Ricky Gervais at whatever the
God.
Tony Awards,
Boy.
whatever it is that he hosts. Man,
Alrighty then.
so this was our experiment for this year. I think we enjoyed it. I hope
We had a
that
lot
you
of
guys
fun.
enjoyed it, and if you liked it, we'll probably do this again next year. Thanks for joining us on
With
this.
hopefully a whole lot more preparation, a bit more of a script, and a more diversified awards list.
I think all the award winners think we did a great job. I think all the award winners definitely think we did a great job. What do you guys think?
I thought it was a great ceremony. It was a lot of fun, and I think all the winners won fairly.
Yes, indeed. I think everyone was well vetted. And again, we want to thank you for joining us for the first annual Geekies. What an award show, ladies and gentlemen. Best award show on the planet. No award show like it. None whatsoever. Anyways, thank you for joining us for another slightly different episode of the Get Geek podcast. As always, check us out on all the platforms, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, anywhere that you can find podcasts, really. Look us up on social media. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter. We're all over the place on social media. Check out the Get Geek. Like, rate, share, subscribe. Tell your friends about us. Tell your parents about us. Tell everyone you know about us. Just tell.
Tell
Just
your
talk.
dog about us.
Tell your dog
Please.
about us, because your
Somebody.
dog might
Just-
respond to King Ghidorah's
I mean,
speech.
seriously.
Perhaps. Anyways, thank you very much. As always, I am Jose.
This is a very distinguished AJ signing off.
This is a slightly tired Wolfie.
Yeah, right there.
Eli.
And this is your master of ceremonies, getting ready to pop some bottles in the after party and shake that boomsy. What can I say? This is Walt. Later, peeps.
And as always, my friends, stay geeky.